Hi, how are you? My name is Pete, and in this quick video I'm going to show you how to tame Cosmo as well as all the abilities that it has. So first of all, where you can find the guy? Well, you can find him anywhere on the green zone and the blue zone. It is, however, quite tricky to actually find him because he's so small. So there's two things I can recommend to you to make it easier to find one. First of all, obviously you can use the awesome spyglass mod if you have mods allowed on your server, because that way with the little outline it is definitely easier to spot this little guy. And second thing I can recommend you use to find one of those guys is to use the new gene scanner, which is unlocked at level 86. It's not actually very expensive, however you do have to be quite high level to get one. And this one is extremely easy to use. All you gotta do is equip it, hold the R button, which is the reload button by default, and you will get that radial menu. Then you have to choose the creature track scan, and here you have to just find the Cosmo. You can also type in the name, that will make things quicker, and once you type it in, the gene scanner will start looking for the Cosmo within the range. I don't know exactly what the range is. If there would be no Cosmos within the range of the gene scanner, you will get that message popping up on your screen. However, if there is one within your range, the lights will come on the gene scanner. Now, reading these lights is actually pretty simple. The green one means that the gene scanner is pointing directly towards the Cosmo. The orange arrow means that it's either on your left or on your right in front of you. And the red one means that it's either on the left or on the right behind you. So once you have a gene scanner and you know how to use it, it shouldn't take you long to locate one of those little fellas. Now, to tame Cosmo, you need one of three things. You either need chitin or acerbic mushroom, or his favorite plant species, Z seed. Once you have one of those things on you, you just approach the little guy, wait a little bit until he will start his taming animation, which basically leads up the little circle around it, and he will start dancing. Now, for some reason, I don't know if it's a bug or something, but the Cosmo won't start this taming animation unless you have a chitin on your inventory. So it doesn't matter that you have plant species Z, you want to tame him with the plant species Z. However, if you don't have chitin on your inventory, at least from all the testing I've done, he will just never start the taming animation. So whether you want to tame him with chitin or not, for now it is necessary to have a chitin on your inventory. And once he starts the animation, all you gotta do is put your taming food of choice on the 0 slot of your hotbar and approach the guy whenever he's dancing and just feed him. Now, this is standard single player settings, and as you can see, that's the level 150, and on those settings it will actually need only 2 plant species Z seeds. And according to Awesome Spyglass, it will need 3, but you know, that's not always perfect when it comes to Awesome Spyglass. It will roughly need 16 acerbic mushrooms or 24 chitin. Now, once you feed him, he will run away, you can chase after him. However, be aware whenever he starts glowing red. When he starts glowing red, you need to stop wherever you are. If you don't stop, he will just get annoyed at you and he will shoot the webs at you and he will run away. Now, don't worry if that happens, he won't lose any taming effectiveness or anything like that. You can just go after him again and wait for the white light and the dancing animation. And once you have a white light and a dancing animation again, you can just feed him his next meal. And as you can see, level 150 on the standard single player settings got tamed with just 2 plant species Z seeds. So as you can see, the taming process is quite simple. The hard part is to find one of those guys. And once you tame him, you can pick him up and put him on your shoulder. Now, once he's on your shoulder, if you go to your inventory, you will notice that it has the little icon in your inventory, which you can totally put on your hotbar. Once you put it on your hotbar and you use the corresponding button, you will notice that Cosmo goes onto your arm, and by default it starts with the swing mode. Now, the swing mode is exactly what it sounds it is. It allows you to swing around like a Tarzan. So the way it works, you have that little blue circle indicating that whatever you're pointing at is within the range of the swing, and you can just shoot the web at it with the left mouse click or the fire button depending on what you're playing at, and as long as you hold that button down, the web will stay attached to that object, and that allows you to swing around. Now on top of it, you can use the control button, which is by default the melee button, to reel yourself in, or you can use the shift button, which by default is the running button, to reel yourself down. And all the direction buttons allow you to swing certain direction, whichever you choose to swing. Now the swing mode also works very well with the combination of the glider suit. So as you can see here, you can swing yourself out of the ledge to give you extra momentum, and then you can just open your glider suit and keep using your Cosmo as a way of giving yourself a momentum forward. Now when you have your Cosmo equipped on your arm and you click the R button, which is default reload button, it will change the swing mode into the shooter mode. Now in shooter mode, you will just shoot webs at the target. Now, I assume they're supposed to slow down the dino that you're shooting at. However, as of right now, it only does a tiny bit of damage and it doesn't seem to slow down anybody, but I'm pretty sure that will get fixed. Also, you might have noticed that whenever you're swinging around or shooting, you're using the charge, which is indicated at your hotbar, and as you can see, I have maximum of 47 charges. Now that charge is directly linked to your Cosmos charge capacity. So if you want more charges, you just want to level up the charge capacity. And surprisingly enough, the value below that, the charge regen, is responsible for how quickly your Cosmo will regenerate the charges. Also, it's worth mentioning that when it comes to shooter mode, you have two options. You can actually go to the radial menu by holding the R button again, and you can change the web into charge infused webs. Once you switch that option on, you will notice that in the bottom right hand corner you have a new icon that indicates that all the webs shooted out by your Cosmo will have a charge induced in them. And what that means is basically that the webs are infused with the charge. So whenever you shoot, for example, nameless, they will just turn around and run away from you. It's also very important to know that if your Cosmo is on your shoulder and it's not on passive, it will start shooting the webs at whatever you're fighting with, whether you're fighting with yourself or on another dino. But as I said before, for now, those webs don't seem to be doing much. I hope they will fix it and they will actually slow the enemies down. And the last option we have when it comes to Cosmo is you can switch on the threat sense, on or off. By default it's off. However, if you switch it on, as you can see, you will have that little icon on the bottom right hand corner telling you that the threat sense is on. However, it seems to me like it's quite buggy at the moment. So what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to warn you against all the aggressive dinos around you. However, 9 times out of 10, it does absolutely nothing. As you can see here, I was just beside the Spino and it didn't give me any warning whatsoever. But just to show you how it's supposed to look like, it's supposed to look like that. The Cosmo on your shoulder starts glowing kind of purple, indicating that there is a threat nearby. However, it is quite useless considering that, I don't know about you, but majority of time, myself, I play from the first person view, so I wouldn't even notice if it was warning me against anything. Now, I hope you find this video useful. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.